Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated.
I am a
Nerdcore used to
modern
be just a
man.
made-up
I like
word.
Sin City. I like Sin City. I killed a buffalo. He used the bird shot. He used the bird shot. Banner likes to drive. He drives a sim truck. He drives a sim truck. Don't worry, don't give me a sim game. Give me. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you had something to add to it. Banner drives that sim truck. He drives that sim truck.
That got me. That part got me.
Welcome to Everyman's Guide to Nerddom, where we are two 30 to 40 something year olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and we would like to invite you to join the community by clicking the link to join the Discord down below in the show notes. Below. Discord's free. It's a great little way for us to interact with the community and you guys to interact with each other. We have all kinds of subjects for topics for talkings. God, words are hard this morning already.
Words are hard and they mean things.
Yeah, they mean things. There's channels for comics and anime and movies and video games and Funkos and beer and ball sports and all the stuff that you might geek out and or nerd out about can be found there. And lots of people talking about things. So hop in. It's free. Join us and connect with the rest of the community. Also, if you'd like to hang out with us live and in person, Chris and I both stream on Twitch. You can find Chris over there under Guyver Unit 01, GUYVERUNT 01. And then I'm just K-Sig, K_SIG. We typically stream Friday and Saturday nights playing community games on Friday, which we call Freaky Friday. Woo!
Woo!
And then horror themed games on Saturday night for Spooky Saturday. Woo!
Ooh, spooky. Although
Yeah,
last night wasn't spooky.
Well, last night wasn't spooky. The first level was spooky themed because there's a Frankenstein monster. So that landed the spooky. But yeah, so you get the woo on Friday night and you get the woo on Saturday night. So hang out with us. It's fun. Sometimes. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, come have
Almost
some
all the
simulated fun with us. So
okay, so Kinetics just popped up on my Steam. I'm adding this to the list of something he's playing because I think it's relevant.
Uh-oh. Where are you putting it at?
It would have to be Life.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. Okay. I'll have to remember that. Leave it just like it is, so we'll remember that's the one that we're going to talk about. Who's playing it?
Kinetics.
I can see that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Well, before we do that, listener of the week.
Listener of the week, who you got?
Mr. Kinetics, actually.
Oh, speaking of.
Because he is consistently one of the first to in our Discord to tell us, hey, you know, either great episode or hey, you guys talked about this. He's usually one of the first to bring something up.
Thank you for stroking our ego.
Thank you, Kinetics. And you don't have to tell us it's good if you don't think it's good.
Oh, he will.
But Kinetics is a really good buddy of ours. I love playing games with the Kinetics because he's just got such that dry sense of humor.
Oh, he's funny. He is funny. If you ever catch him playing with us on Friday or Saturday night, guys, like it's worth tuning. And he also streams under Kinetics, KYNETTIXX.
Yes,
double X. Double X.
He's like double D Kinetics, except with X's. But yeah, Kinetics, thank you.
Yeah, and it's relevant. He's playing something along the lines of what we're going to talk about today.
So, what we're talking about today is simulation games.
Ta-da!
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. And we're going to kind of steer clear of certain types of simulation games. Mostly because A, my knowledge, we've never played them.
B, we don't want to get fired. We toe that line weekly anyway, but
yeah, I mean, we toe that line very closely, but honestly, we've never played them as far as I know.
I haven't. I can't speak for you.
And well, okay, Leisure Suit Larry is the closest because I find that game hilarious.
Okay.
And technically that would be a sim game.
It would be. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're going to talk a little bit about what we think makes a sim game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of gray area when you really start breaking it down on what could or could not be a simulation game.
Right.
But that's what we're talking about today. Simulation games. All kinds, like they're gaining in popularity, and just like anything else that gets a little bit popular, you get a whole lot of cheap knockoffs, and you get a whole lot of just like random like subgenres of games and things. And so, I mean, they've been popular for 30 plus years, but different types are now becoming more and more popular. And we're going to talk about why on that. Why do we like simulation games? And then we'll define the simulation games after that. But why do we like them? Why do you like them?
They're escapism.
Escapism.
And that's the other thing. It's like, why do you like it? Like, do you like to, like, some I don't get, being honest with you. Some I do not understand because, like, and we'll bring this one up too, because I consider it a sim game, even though it's little cartoon characters. Animal Crossing.
I've never
one of
played
the biggest
it, so
games that there is. Like, that's all Lily and the girls will play it, and I know lots of people play it, right? I believe Nerd plays it too.
Probably.
PC Nerd. I know Techno Nerd plays it, but I came in one day and asked Lily what she was doing, and she's like, paying the mortgage. I go, what? She's like, yeah, paying the mortgage on my house. I had to collect all this stuff to, get money to pay the mortgage. I'm like, how is that fun? We pay a mortgage in real life. I'm like,
and that's not fun.
Somebody throw a pie, like kill a zombie, do something. I go, what are you doing now? She goes, weeding the garden. I go, you don't even weed our garden. How is this fun? I
didn't know you had a garden. Well, probably not, because she doesn't weed it. Lily, get to work.
Exactly. Lily, get to work.
She'll hear you say that from your end, but I'm over here. I'm safe until she hears the recording.
100%. Why do you think I'm looking
over your shoulder? Like, hold on.
I'm looking around. But I think it's escapism. It's doing something that you can't do at the time. Like the hunting simulator games, which we'll talk about. Like, you can play those year round.
Yeah.
Hunting season, correct me if I'm wrong, since I've never been hunting. Hunting's during seasons. You can only do it during certain times of year.
Certain things with certain weapons you can only hunt certain animals with certain weapons during certain times of the year.
So,
yeah.
But with a simulator game, you can do that year round.
You can do that year round.
You can do it with your friends who are in Germany or another part of the state or across the U.S. somewhere. So I think it gives you some sort of sense of satisfaction and like a godlike complex on some of them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We were discussing last night with I was with Chof and with Props a little bit about like what makes a sim game, because we're talking about escapism, so that's a lot of the reason why we play any game, regardless of what it is, like to escape reality for a little bit and just have fun. And I get to be some soldier of fortune or some Greek god or whatever. I just get to get out and play something. I get to be 6'8" and play in the NBA, whatever. We get that escapism from it. And an argument could be made that any game could be considered a simulation game because you're playing in a simulated environment. Now,
I can see that.
That being said, I think there's some certain criteria that makes like what we consider a simulation game an actual simulation game. And you hit it on the head with the God thing. That's what Chof brought up last night, was like it puts you in the seat of God. You're in this like all powerful position to control all the things that happen. And in a lot of these that fits true. And I think that really fits more in like the city and the society simulation type games where you're just kind of in control of everything.
Yeah.
But there's just something about these games that when you're playing them, you get a certain feeling, like, okay, this is the simulation. This isn't necessarily competitive. There's not a whole lot of competitive elements in really any of these games because they're mostly single player. And even if they're multiplayer, there's not a lot of competitive aspect to it. It's more cooperative if you're playing. And so it's just I want to say they're slower paced for the most part. You get to kind of chill and relax and take your time and just kind of really enjoy your creations or the activity that you're doing. You kind of you hit it really good there with getting to do things that you wouldn't normally do in real life, or getting to do the things that you really enjoy doing in real life that you can't do all the time, like you were talking about with the hunting simulator, simulation games like Hunter Call the Wild. It's a little arcadey, but it's probably the closest thing that I've ever played to a decent hunting simulator.
Right.
If you choose to play it that way. Now you can run and gun all you want and just start, gunning down buffalo and turkeys and whatever. But it also gives you the option to play it out as a simulation game. That's something I really enjoyed back when I played that game. And so we get, you get some accurate to life elements, I think is key in a simulation game, or is accurate, or they're realistic, or the consequences seem realistic, or your decisions seem to make realistic events happen. I think that's part of it. You get real world equipment and gear and using real strategies, which this really falls into play in some of the more niche simulators that we'll talk about in a little bit. So I think all these things, like, you can't just put all simulators into one bucket. We've got a lot of categories that we're going to talk about. Talk about some of the classic games, society, city builder games, job simulation games, life simulation, sports, racing, hunting, and then the catch-all of all the other kind of gray area games.
So do you think, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think these simulator games tickle that part of your brain that gives you that sense of relief, or that satisfaction that you would get, like, let's say in real life? I'm trying to think how to put this, like that sense of achievement that you get from like real life. Do you think that that's why these sim games are such a draw, that it hits that part of your brain?
I think so.
Does that make sense?
That dopamine hit that you get from accomplishing a task that you set out to complete, and a lot of these, you kind of set your own goals sometimes. I mean, some of them are story driven and there's missions and things that you have to do. But I find a lot of times when I'm playing games like this that I go out of the scripted area and I find little things that I want to do and I want to try to accomplish.
Right.
And then, completing those things, like figuring out a way to make them work, or if it's just something in my head to make it help pass the time a little bit better as I'm completing the main goal, kind of gives you that little bit of accomplishment. So like in, just say, SimCity, for example, you get all these random goals that it'll put to you, but you may be like, well, I want to have a cool little arts district over here, and I want to figure out how to make that work, or I want a really cool, like, commercial district over here, and I want to try, and so you're setting these little goals for yourself, or you have this idea in your head of how you want your city to look, and you start building it up from that. I think that's in one way it gives that little hit. And then with games like, Power Washing Simulator, or I mean, that'd probably be a good one to use. Just the goal of the game itself, you get that satisfying release, like, oh, everything's clean, And so I think all these little things from different games, you get the different types of dopamine hits from them.
Yeah, I would go with that. Yeah, I would go with that.
Now, as we're talking about these games coming up, and a lot of them are very specific. And Props made a good point last night when I was talking with him. Like, would you consider survival games, like the true, real deal survival game? Like, a lot of games get labeled as survival games now, but your actual surviving out in the open world environment games, would you consider those simulation games? I think some can be and some can't be, depending on the elements that they throw in.
Right.
And so we'll kind of call them like in the gray area. Like they're still, like, a lot of them are competitive and there's a lot of PvP and stuff, but there's still some simulation with, I need shelter, I need food, I need to sustain myself, I need to figure out how to treat my injuries, I need to, they're usually like post-apocalyptic simulators when you're interacting with other people, or you're just on the mission to survive on your own.
Right.
I think there is an argument that could be made for that they would hit there.
I think there's a big argument that could be made on that.
Mhm.
It just depends how, like how you said, how you're looking at it.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you guys think on that one?
Yeah, let us know. Put it in the Discord. There's some show feedback stuff.
If you guys aren't in the Discord, come join us. Like seriously, join us in the Discord, Alex.
Yeah.
Just because we're trying to grow the community, and it's nice to hear from you all.
Yeah. There's a lot of extra stuff that goes on in there outside of all this. So, yeah, definitely check that out and become part of that. So, and the reason, so we'll go on to like the classic simulation games and stuff like this. And the reason I listed this, because this is when I think of simulation games and I think of where it all started for me, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're probably pretty close to the same. When you think of a classic simulation game, what do you think of?
SimCity.
SimCity. That's of our era.
I'm looking it up when it first came out because I remember
like 93, 94.
Yeah, I remember having to load the discs, and I believe it was on DOS, if I remember right. You go ahead and talk about that while I'm looking this up, because I swear I remember loading this on DOS, or at least Windows 3.11.
So
we had the business version of Windows.
The first time, the first version it came out is actually on Mac back in 80 something. Will Wright was involved with that. Cleared the rights in 88. It was near completion, so I don't think it got released until
89.
89. Okay, so the one, and it hit a lot of platforms, because my first intro to it was on Super Nintendo. And so that would have had to have been, early mid 90s in there. It's been around for a long time. And this is your granddaddy's city simulator building game, where you had zone areas, you had your residential districts and your commercial districts and your industrial districts. And if everything started feeding right, your population grew, and then these districts evolved into newer and cooler things. And you had to learn how to deal with disasters and manage the crime rate by putting police stations in certain areas within certain proximities. And there was just all kinds of information that could be fed to you from all the different info panels and stuff. And it was like, I was addicted to it for a long time. I just played it over and over again. And I don't think I ever played it right. Like, I would build it up. I would save my city when I got it to where I would want to get it. And then, I'd send in the tornadoes or the earthquakes. Like, let's destroy everything.
And all that. So I always had the riots and the aliens, so the people would love me again. So, fun fact about SimCity. It came out under the studio. I forgot all about them. Maxis Studios.
Max did they do Spore and all that other stuff too?
They did Spore, but they also did so many other sim games after that. I remember this. So second job was CompUSA, for those of you who remember that. So they did SimCity in 89. First one was Sky Chase in 88. But then they did another SimCity in 90. Then Sim Earth, the Living Planet.
I remember that.
The next year, I remember this one, Sim Ant.
Yep.
You were in an ant colony. Then another Sim Earth. Then Sim Life. Then SimCity 2000. Ironically, in 1993. On DOS, Mac, and Windows.
I still have that game.
Do you really?
You can get it on Steam.
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to look at that. Sim Farm, I remember that. There was Sim Health, Sim Tower. You were talking about that one.
I remember Sim Tower.
The Vertical Empire. You had to build all the elevators and crap. And I forgot that my elevators never went anywhere.
Elevator to nowhere.
95, they released SimCity Enhanced on CD-ROM.
Ooh, that's when you know it's getting good when you spin it up.
Yeah. Sim Isle. Sim Town. Sim Copter. Sim Golf. Sim Park. Sim Tunes. Streets of SimCity. I remember that one. Sim Safari, SimCity 3099.
That might
They
be the
seem
one
like
that's on
they're all-
Steam.
That might be it. SimCity 3000 Unlimited. Then in 2000 they released The Sims, and then 2002 Sims Online. SimCity 4, The Sims busting out. It goes on from there. But then like Spore was fun. The Creature Creator, I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maxis was behind all those. They were the originators of the Sim games. So just fun flash fact.
So we had Streets of SimCity that was
remember
racing
that
vehicular combat, like one of the only PvP sim games. You could explore your Sim cities by car. And I remember as SimCity got like more advanced, you could zoom in closer and closer, and you could see the little people and start learning about their lives, which led to The Sims coming out in 2000, right?
Yes.
Like The Sims was like one of the most like successful video game franchises of all time.
Still is.
People love The Sims.
Prom plays The Sims.
Yeah, like I think it's Sims 4 is like free on Game Pass right now. My sister used to play the crap out of The Sims. We had at my dad's house, we had remember the knockoff iMacs? They were Windows computers, but they looked like an iMac, but they're all like that whatever that colored plastic is called. But they were I think they were e-machines is what we had one. And so we would like fight over that computer because she wanted to play The Sims and I wanted to play Quake. And so that was like always the big disagreement over who's going to get to have more time on the computer, because I want to download all the mods for Quake so I get the grappling hook and all that fun stuff. And that would take, hours to download anything. Yeah. So yeah, I think that when you think of simulation games, a lot of people go to either SimCity if they're a little bit older like us, or they go to The Sims if they're a little bit younger, or both.
Yep.
And so, The Sims is that classic city society builder game that really scratches an itch that a lot of people have or don't know they have until they start playing it. Like, oh, this seems like, why would I want to put a house here? And then you just get sucked in.
Uh-huh.
And a good evolution of the SimCity series, because it, the city builder stuff kind of stopped. In 2015, there's a game that came out called City Skylines. And if you've never played, if you're an old school SimCity fan or a newer, SimCity 30,000 or whatever, and you haven't played City Skylines, play City Skylines. Play City Skylines. I think it's also free on Game Pass. It always goes on sale on Steam. Get the Steam version if you want mods and stuff like that. But this is now a 7-year-old game, and
isn't that nuts?
The detail. Excuse me.
I was getting choked up about
the detail. I'm so excited about it. That you can get into in the level of not only informational detail, but the detail of the cities and stuff as you go in. Like, I don't have a super high-end computer, but I've got a pretty decent setup. And
you got a good computer.
It can grind mine to a halt. If you have all the effects going, you have all the it can really grind it to a halt. It's a really pretty game. The variety of the buildings and the just the level of detail from the infrastructure, from running water lines to power lines to public transportation. If you've never played it and you like city builders, you need that in your library.
I'm iffy on those because I like to play them, but I suck at playing them.
Well, get good, nerd.
Get good.
Yeah.
Well, because it's one of those like, oh, look, I did this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, now apparently they don't have water. Oh, that's okay. My industrial district's building up.
Yeah. Oh, now my people are rioting in the streets. I think that does happen in City Skylines. Yeah. Like, I think they'll picket and stuff too. Like,
really?
If I remember right, like, I don't totally quote me on that, but I remember seeing that. And that may have been something from SimCity as well. I'm pretty sure there's one game that does that. Now,
it's actually kind of awesome.
As we kind of drift over from our city builders to our society builders, I know you've played these games. And I have at least one, but I've never played them. And so I'll let you talk about the Civ series a little bit.
Civ series. I love the Civ series. Civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was Sid Meier's too, wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah. You had we were confused the other day when we were trying to think of our SimCity people. Will Wright was the SimCity guy. Sid Meier, Meyer
Oh.
was Civ. Yeah.
Civ, that's
we,
what
we got them crossed. Yeah.
We had him correct. We get wrong
lot.
sometimes. A lot. We'll admit it. We're men enough to admit it. So what I love about the Civilization series is you take them from primitive, or you can set the age where you're in, like you could be in the Bronze Age or like the Industrial Age. But you build up from the ground up and you evolve your people through all these big technological wonders, like the invention of the wheel, the invention of aqueducts.
It's an adequate pipe.
Yes, it is.
It's an aqueduct pipe. You
It's
know
an
that movie?
aqueduct. What's that? No.
You don't know that movie? That was Rockadoodle.
I was Rockadoodle with Chanticleer. Chanticleer.
They were trying to escape. And like, look, it's an adequate pipe. It's an aqueduct pipe.
I forgot all about that. I love that movie.
It's one of my favorite movie lines ever.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now. Chanticleer, Rockadoodle. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
That's such a cool movie that a lot of people don't know about.
If you guys don't, watch it. But you can wage war on other cities,
as one should.
As one should. And here's the thing: it's really cool because you can find the historical leaders from those civilizations too.
Oh, you can like sort of recruit them or something like that, right?
Yeah. And so you could get like Caesar or like Alexander the Great, stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun. They're just so much fun because there's so much that goes into it, because you have to tax them, your citizens, the right amount. You have to build defenses. You have to do agriculture. How are you going to feed them? How are you going to get resources? It's all about resource
management, which is a big factor in a lot of simulation games.
It's just they're just fun just to take them through this, because I remember one time many moons ago, I was concentrating on just getting in all this resources so I could build up stuff, and I wasn't advancing my civilization. And I'm like, all right, I got chariots. And then all of a sudden in comes the Americans with a tank and rolled over my city. So I wasn't advancing my civilization. I was just trying to get as many resources as possible. And
I need all the stuff so the Americans can come take it.
My guys come out with their little bows and arrows. I had just researched the longbow. And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, there goes my gates. There goes everything. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Wasn't like Age of Empires kind of the same vein?
It's almost, it's basically the same thing.
That's another one I didn't play. One that was kind of similar to this that I did play a lot of back in the day was a game called Lords of the Realm.
Yes.
And I played Lords of the Realm 2 demo.
By Sierra.
Endlessly. And it was that same type of resource management. You had your little serfs, and you had to like assign so many to farm, and then so many to that. And then, but what was cool is it combined your resource management, society building things where you had different seasons and you had to build up your castles and your crops and all that. But whenever you got invaded, or if you were the invading country or whatever, you could form alliances as well. But the actual battles were like real-time strategy type, well, sort of like top-down battles where you moved units around. There's a lot of unit type combat. And
yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
For the crown.
Macemen at the ready. Or no, arrows at the ready.
Arrows at the ready. Yeah. So you'll be excited for this.
Is it being remade?
It's $2.99 on Steam.
I have it.
Do you really?
That was one of the very first games I bought when I got back into computer gaming like 6 years ago.
They have Lords of the Realm 3 too on there.
What? Hold on. Yeah. Okay.
$12.99. You can get Lords of Magic, Lords of the Realm 2, and Lords of the Realm 3.
Oh, good old Sierra games, that loading screen.
I loved Sierra. Sierra also did Leisure Suit Larry.
They did. There's a book series. Oh, Realm of Lords. Never mind.
Okay.
Epic medieval strategy.
I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It runs a little weird, but it still works. Now another society builder. This one I think is a little more slightly cartoony-ish, and it takes a different take on is Tropico. If you ever played Tropico, I think I played 4 or 5.
I remember Tropico. I was shit at Tropico.
I'm not good at it at all.
Like it's very, very hard.
It's a hard game. You're stuck. You have your own little island country that you have to build up, and you end up taking a path. Either you're going to be, a great leader for the people, or you're going to be, a dictator. And that's
Excuse
kind of
me?
the dictator.
I thought it was Tomater.
Dictato. Like terrible weather forecast. So
That's a terrible.
dang it.
Again, if you're listening to us for the first time, we crack ourselves up more than we crack you all up.
A
So
lot.
a lot.
But Tropico was fun. It was
I
like a
was
different take on
shit
it.
at that game.
Now another one that's kind of in this more like I think these fall in that same vein. They're not really city or society builders, but they play very similar. There's the Jurassic World games where you build up the park.
I have them.
I played it a little bit. I had trouble getting going and trying to figure out exactly what I was supposed to do. Probably because I didn't do the tutorial and I had no idea.
Same, because I just want to see the dinosaurs.
I do too. Like I want them to fight.
Which you can do in the new Jurassic World Evolutions too.
I'm probably going to go back and play it again because that's my goal. In almost any of these games, I want to build this like nice, fully functioning society, and then I'm going to release the T-Rex on everybody.
I'm unleashing the Indominus Rex.
Like, oops, where'd the gate go? And then just mayhem.
Oops.
That's how I play them.
Sorry, Triceratops.
And I think you could probably do the same thing. The next on the list, there's like the Planet Zoo Tycoon games. Like, I don't know where the lion cage gate went. Now he's roaming free.
And I believe that Tulsa I think it was Zoo Tycoon, got voted best zoo in America when they had a online poll.
Really?
And they got this huge grant from Microsoft for it from this game.
Nice.
And I remember playing this. It's like, I loved it. I think it was called Zoo Tycoon. It was Zoo something.
Because Zoo Tycoon, you had like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you had Zoo Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon was fun. There was always, I remember seeing the videos and the memes of like people that would build like the endless roller coaster, because Roller Coaster Tycoon was a theme park simulator as much it was building and it had this.
Where people threw up everywhere.
Well, no, it gets darker than that. It's
what?
You could build your theme park, but you could also custom design your own roller coaster. And people were designing these infinite roller coasters where once everybody would load up on there, they could not get off the roller coaster, and their little sim people would like die on the roller coaster. If I remember right, I could be misquoting, but I thought there'd be like little skeletons riding around. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, Roller Coaster of Death. Or they would use
of Doom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, are there new ones?
Yeah, they just released a new one last year.
See, I could have fun with this because it has where you design the roller coasters and stuff. That level of design would be fun for me, but I get frustrated because I can't make the infrastructure work right.
Maybe is it Roller Coaster Tycoon Deluxe?
Maybe.
Because it's $60.
Yeah, here's a YouTube
this is
video.
From 99.
Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. The death
$6.
of 4,468 guests. So I'm thinking Yes, is out of boredom, a completely soulless park owner decided to be funny to trap all his guests inside the park, systematically corral them all into one corner of the park, and then force all guests who enter the park onto the strip of land with no way. Where'd it go? With no way out, because no one ever dare pass the no entry signs. After that, he deleted the concession stops, deleted the pathways, created a small hole, and then filled it with water, killing the entire population of the park. Okay, so that went a little darker than I thought it was. It wasn't the roller coaster. He just I'm looking at the video, like he got them all into one spot and then just like left them on an island And let me see if did they eventually, yeah. Oh, they drowned. He drowned them. That's what happened.
And we find it hilarious.
Because that's kind of ends up what you be doing in some of these games.
Because you can kill people without fear.
Well, like almost any video game. But
yeah, that's true too.
So here's the one. Okay, I want to hear you talk about this one. I don't know anything about this game until you just start talking about it before the show.
Black and White?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Black and White originally came out in 90. I remember when it first came out, and I bought it on Windows 95 or maybe Windows 98. Basically, you're a god, or you are the god
EA?
to like. That sounds right. It was before EA Activision, and I think it was just EA. Yeah. Because it was around the time like Command and Conquer 2 was out, give or take. But you get avatars to do your bidding, such as a giant like Cyclops guy. I think it was in like a tiger guy, and you could stomp on the islanders, or you could throw them. You directed them to build stuff. You were God to these islanders, and everything you did, every decision you made affected the outcome of their daily lives. Like you could force them to go to war even if they were sickly and dying. They've come out with a couple new versions of Black and White, and I think, what did I tell you the last one was? We just looked it up. I'll look it up again. It was like 2018 Black and White. But you are literally a god. You're the god to these islanders, and it's not where you think you're god like SimCity. You are the god. They worship you.
It won several awards.
It's like that episode of Futurama where Bender gets the people on his butt. It's like that.
Oh, where Bender becomes okay.
It's exactly like that.
Is it on Steam? I'm gonna look.
I'm looking on Steam. I don't see it on Steam. Oh, and you can smite people. This is the first game where you could smite them.
I can be a smoter?
Yes, you could be a smoter, and you could smote them in terrible ways.
I'm not seeing it. It may be like would it be we may luck out and it be considered abandonware now, which is we could get probably, for free, but then it's also kind of sketchy sometimes. You gotta know your source.
It might be on GOG. It's on the official EA site.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, Black and White 2, Battle of the Gods.
How much is that?
I'm looking.
Let's find out on that one. It better be cheap because it's a 17-year-old game.
It's not even for sale. It just tells about it.
I
wonder if it's on GOG. We'll look it up later. Bestofoldgames.org, $15 for a digital download.
Oh, here we go. My Abandonware. You can get the original one from 2001. Yeah, it's like 326 megs. myabandonware.com, which is a cool website where we because we get nostalgic about a lot of these old retro PC games. myabandonware.com has a lot of games that, they just let the license lapse, and it's just out there now. And people are still downloading it. Like there's still comments from the last month or so about getting this. I spent my childhood playing this game. It was so fun. Old but gold. Such a great game. I hope one day they will release a new one with Unreal 5. So cool.
Yeah.
And for 2001, it's not a bad looking game. But the controls were clunky.
Was that one? I thought it was earlier than that.
That's what it's showing.
So remember how
definitely
I said
that game though.
We get stuff wrong. I got something wrong there.
So
I remember that though. I remember buying it.
And so we probably left some city society builder games off, and there's so many. Like with anything, when we dive into a broad genre like this, we're not going to get
everything.
Everything.
If there's one you all want to talk about, let us know. And why it was so special to you.
And if there's a decent one that we can play together, let us know. Because I'm always down for that. Now, next category. This is like I consider this kind of like the new wave of simulation games that have been coming out.
Absolutely.
We have what we're going to call Jobs Simulator, which I probably should have put Job Simulator at the top of this list in VR. But these are games where the simulation is you're working an actual specific type of job. And these were pretty niche for a while, but now they're becoming extremely popular. And now we're getting a lot of weird, really cheap
Weird
knockoffs
ones.
as well. I would say probably one of the granddaddies of this would be Microsoft Flight Simulator. You know, because you can take the role of a commercial pilot, and you got, you know, like there's this huge community around that, from people doing air traffic control to, you know, like real simulated servers where, like, and some of that stuff is funny. If you've never watched any of the funny Microsoft Flight Simulator videos,
hilarious.
when people are like taxiing around the airport and somebody's doing, like, they're so funny. God, they're so funny.
So you can remember with Microsoft Flight Simulator, it was so accurate, and I think they still do use it. A lot of companies used it to train their pilots.
Yeah,
it's just nuts to me.
It's a beast to run. Like my Xbox will not run it natively. I have to stream it. It's the new version. Like, I have to play it off the cloud. I can't download it and run it. Yeah.
Oh my God, our computer hears us talking.
Oh no, what do you got going now?
What just appeared on my Steam list?
Microsoft Flight. What?
Rival Stars Horse Racing Desktop Edition. It's a horse racing simulator where you're the jockey and you're doing like raising the horses, breeding them, training them to race.
Well, you're arranging the breeding for them.
Or you're doing it. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's probably yeah.
But it's very positive reviews.
Steam's getting pretty lax with some of their stuff.
Okay.
So we get next Flight Simulator. This one I haven't played, but Props has talked about a lot. Construction Simulator.
We talked about forming a company on it.
Yep. It looks interesting. You know, it is what it sounds like. You form a construction company and you do jobs. Now this one, I think you said you played some, and I think you said Lily's played a lot. And I've played some, and I don't. This is one of those.
Played it too.
I get the draw and the appeal for it. I don't have the patience to do it for a very long period of time.
It's like what is it, ASMR? It's kind of what it is.
Power washing simulator.
Yeah.
Blew up, like became super popular because it's just so chill. Like, you get your little power washing wand and you just clean stuff.
Yeah.
It's got chill little music, or you can play your own little chill music and clean the van and the sidewalks. And it's like the Bob Ross of simulators, I would say.
It really is. It really is. Like, Lily will just sit there while we're streaming and she'll just power wash.
Now, I think this falls in the same vein as this game, and I was very disappointed that this didn't scratch that same itch, was Lawn Mowing Simulator.
I love that game.
I hate it. The controls are so clunky.
They are, but I love it.
It just, like, I could not, and I wanted to like this game so much. I've got the one you're adding. I already got it in there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I love it. It's like the very next one. I wanted to love this game so much, and I just could not get into it. Now, God. But this next one on the list, I've played this one before, and I've had fun with this PC building simulator. And it's cool because, like, they get all these partnerships from all these manufacturers for all the parts that you could get, and you can build your dream PC. But you can also, it's a business simulator. You're taking orders. You have to do everything down to, like, taking the screws out of the case to pull the side panel off and make sure everything's connected right, and blow all the dust out of it, and virus scan, and then manage your business and make sure that you're paying your bills and you're billing. Like, this is like one of the primo, I think, when you get to simulation, like business job simulation, very specific, this one really hits it.
Well, and we actually use this to train our kids at school on how to build a computer because it's so accurate. It'll tell you what works together, what doesn't. If you put something in that's not compatible, it won't turn on. It won't work. And I love it because you can build like these $30,000 computers, like something that I would never be able to do in real life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just got a 84090s I'm putting in this thing. Why?
Let's see.
To watch Voodoo.
I'm going to plug them right into the wall.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's really cool. One Mr. Banner plays a lot of
And I will.
farming.
I'm going to go out on a ledge here and say this is what really kicked off a lot of the modern simulation games that we're seeing.
I would say so.
Mhm.
I'd go with that. Is a farming simulator. You are a farmer. It's not my draw.
I love
but
this game when I get to play it.
I enjoy, like, when Banner was streaming it. I enjoyed watching him do it just because it's so calming to him. And I know he enjoyed it.
I wish I could remember I came across a guy that streams this, and he's like the most wholesome streamer ever. Like, and he takes it super serious. He runs little custom servers, and he's just like very like northern Midwestern, don't you know?
No,
type
don't
guy.
you know?
And just
It's
you know,
me. Hold on, it's me, ma.
it's me, ma.
It's me,
And-
ma.
You know, and it's another one's like you had to like I grew up in a rural farming community, and a lot of this stuff like that's there. Like I want to drive the tractors that I drove growing up, but then I got to buy the DLC for it, and I'm not going to do that. So, and then we have I know
Banner again.
Banner and
You played it. Props.
Breacher, Vet. You know, Guru played this a lot. American Trucking Simulator. Along the same thing, like it's a very chill like game that you're just driving your truck across the country, listening to music, and this is really big on Twitch and Facebook Live or Facebook Gaming too. There's a few people that are really big on this.
Which is the one that I saw a lot of? I think it was the funny clip. It's like maybe the Euro Truck Simulator. It's like they're in India.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, those crappy roads in India that are like, you see like the horror, like, because it's not even wide enough for these super buses that are going through, but somehow they get like 3.
Oh yeah, like they're playing with the game physics to make them make the turns and stuff.
Yeah. That, like, is it Euro Truck?
I think
one?
That might be the beaming IO game that has like all the vehicles.
Yeah.
Now, along with like the trucking simulator games, farming simulator, train simulators on the list here, we can't talk about these without talking about the gear and the peripherals that you can get for these.
Yep.
So if you want to really sink your teeth and like this is your jam, there's so much stuff that you can get. I'm talking like switchboards. So if you've ever seen the inside of a tractor, of a semi truck, or a tractor for farming simulator, an actual tractor, or the inside, you can get these USB control panels with all the switches and buttons and levers, the full, big wheel steering wheel for your truck, the big shifters. Like people go all out with these big multi-monitor setups that are enclosed. They're using like actual CB mics for their in-game comms with headsets. Like it's ridiculous. And it takes some power to really push them to the limit, to have really good looking graphics and stuff. I've seen the guys that have the big screen for their middle, and then they have the 2 on the sides, and it wraps around like you're looking outside either of the windows. So you get some real world, like you really throw out that field of view really wide. And there's a lot of stuff that you can get. I know Props was playing Police Simulator, which we have on the list, and for a little bit, and was seriously considering getting one of the switch boxes for all the things that you can do with it, or using it for GTA RP when he was copping it up. There's just so much stuff, like, and we like gadgets, and I may not be like super into those games, but if I had the disposable income to get all the fun stuff that would go with it, and have like a fully dedicated American Trucking Simulator rig where I could run the shifter. I mean, it's got like the splitter and everything on it, and have all the buttons and the doodads to play with. I would probably be sunk into that.
I bet we could get Chof to dress up like a
lot lizard.
Yeah, and like just walk by and tap on your window.
So we would be playing that. Chof would be playing American Truck Stop Simulator.
What makes you think he's not already?
Just roll down the window. Hey, where are you going to?
Hey, honey, how are you? Got a light?
Oh my god! Smells like cheap cigarettes and vodka.
I got a potty.
Oh god!
Okay, next. Train simulator.
Mm-hmm.
For
Like
those
American
people who
Trucking
like
Simulator
trains.
with trains. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but
I haven't played
I
it.
think if
Not
you like
really my
American
thing.
Trucking Simulator, you may like that one.
Yeah. Job simulator. I haven't played that one.
You haven't played it at all?
No.
I know the kids play it. You really haven't? Or are you
No.
messing with me?
No, I've never played it. Job. I'm looking it up.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. The VR one?
The VR one.
Yes, I played that all the time. I drink
I've never played this game. I've never even heard of it. I need to look up.
No, I know which one. I thought it was something different. No, this is the one that I taught Sprout to drink the oil when she's the mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my little guy plays this all the time. Like I'll look in there and he'll have the headset on. I walked in there one day and he was like not in the best mood about whatever he was doing. Like he's playing video games. He should be having fun. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm working. And you hear like the boop.
Yep.
Because he's doing the cashier job. He's like scanning stuff. And he's like, I got to make the hot dogs. he's doing the convenience store job.
Yes. It's by Alchemy Labs. They also did Vacation Simulator.
They're fun games. They really are.
Great job on this.
I've played them and they're just what's fun about these is the humor that's in them, because the Job Simulator is not a serious job simulator. It's like if you've ever played Surgeon Simulator,
it's like
think of the same. Yeah, Surgeon Simulator, which I don't know if I put on the list or not, but God, that game is just stupid fun.
Yes. We need to play that again on a Freaky Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
it's multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many surgeons can we? Oh God, 4 of us trying to do brain surgery.
I think last time you were gone. I think it was me, Nerd, Chof, and maybe Shaunicus, and we kept losing the body parts. Or like someone would come over and like they would start stabbing with the coagulant to stop the bleeding, except they stabbed too hard and then their leg would pop off, causing more bleeding.
I love how that game is like the controls are intentionally clunky.
Yep.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, we got to do that again.
So, okay. I think you were gone that weekend, or were you there?
I didn't play with us.
Okay. You were gone that weekend. Yeah. So, Kerbal Space Program, I own but haven't played. Got a buddy who swears by this game.
It is so hard. The science and the math that goes into this is so hard. Like you can screw around on it all day long.
What's it about?
So Kerbal Space Program is you are in charge of these little alien looking things called Kerbals, and you're building up your space program. Your first goal, I think, is to build a rocket that goes into space, and you have to break the atmosphere and all that, and you have to like line your rockets up and get the aerodynamics right and get all the stages right so they'll launch at the right time, get the re-entry right so you don't kill your little Kerbals when they come back to land. And you just have progressions of goals, get off the ground, get into orbit, get to the moon, get to another planet, carry payloads and things like that. And so it's very, very science and math based. Like it's a little above my head. Like I'm pretty good at math. I'm not that good at math. I can't.
But yeah, I heard it's stupid fun for the people who like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing about these simulation games. Is like there's so many. Like if there's something you're into, no matter how weird it might be, there's probably a simulation game for it.
Furry simulator.
Shove.
But yeah, next Police Simulator. I know Props has played this one.
Mm-hmm. I've looked at it a little bit, but I've never played it. We'd have to ask his opinion. Put it in the talks, Props.
Yeah, put it on the top. But like I've seen I watched a video on YouTube on it, and some guy was just sitting there with his radar, just waiting for people to come.
Just catch him speeding.
And that was 5 minutes of him just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. It's there. A lot of them are just time killers. You just you just want to veg out and escape.
Yep.
From the cops. Or no, you are the cops. Never mind.
You are the cop. Car Mechanic Simulator. There's also Gas Station Simulator, which is along the same lines.
Mm-hmm. You just added this one, Aquarium Simulator.
Yep. I love that one.
So talk about that one.
So you get jobs. It's the same. So under Life Simulator, I put another one, or you put House Flipper.
Yeah.
It's the same company that does this. and it's the same mechanics. Like with Aquarium Simulator, like I used to have aquariums, and I love fish, deals, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You take jobs on from people trying to figure out what they want, find the right fish. You have to find the fish that will cohabitate with each other and not kill each other. You have to figure out what's not going to poison the water. If the water is poisonous, how you get the pH down, just all this kind of stuff. So if you like aquarium, like fish and
Yeah.
just like building stuff, this one's, it's just oddly calming. It's like, which rocks do you put in? Because this lady wants a calming effect in her business.
So it takes that whole PC builder simulator to
Except
like
with
a
fish.
whole. Huh.
The fish,
It's the fish.
it's fun. And I think it's free on Game Pass right now. So yeah. Okay, so next up we are on life simulators. These are simulators that simulate life.
Yeah, just things you'll do. Like those other ones were like more job type stuff. These are things that you may do just in your everyday life. Now we put Thief Simulator on here. I've never played it, but I'm looking at gameplay of it right now, and I could probably enjoy this game. Not
You
gonna
think
lie.
you could?
Yeah, and it's only like $4, $5 on Steam right now.
That's not bad.
And or you can buy the whole bundle. Or there's also Drug Dealer Simulator. That's part of the other bundle. Thief Priest Simulator. Okay, we're not gonna.
There's one that's on there that's I think it's kind of. I debated bringing it up, but I'm going to because I own it and have played it.
Well,
no. I don't own this one. I've played a different one, but it's similar. It's Bum Simulator.
Yep.
You play a hobo. Like you have to pee places when you have to go. You got to try and find food.
Wasn't Harry playing this at one time?
I think he was, or he wanted to.
Live like a bum. Vandalism. It's a little arcadey.
Yeah. Bum Simulator. Yeah, no, this is So apparently the same company made one called Priest Simulator.
Yep, I see that. Bakery Simulator. There's some kind of cooking simulator that's on Xbox right now that is very stressful. I didn't like it. Oh, Cooking Simulator. There it is.
So apparently Priest Simulator, a mockumental action game. Go forth and rock in the absolute weirdest and most messed up simulator in the history of sandbox shooters. Fully unprofessional English language version.
So these are made by, it's called Playway, and they look like that's their jam. There's like Party Maker, Yacht Mechanic Simulator, Thief Simulator, Builder Simulator, Dinosaur Fossil Hunter, Oil Tycoon, Motorcycle Mechanic, Train Mechanic, Prison Simulator, Hacker Simulator. Oh, what's that hacking game? I can't remember the name. Anyway, Junkyard Simulator, like Bum, Farmer's Life, House Builder. Like this is their thing. Castle Flipper.
Oh, the developers Asmodev too. They do all sorts of weird stuff like Human Farm. Have you seen that one? That's coming soon. Look up Human Farm.
Oh, Thief Simulator in VR.
I would actually play that.
Mr. Prepper.
Human Farm, humans have been degraded to farm meat, and you play like a human like pig.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one. You may have talked about it before.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Now, Garden Simulator, is that one of yours?
Yeah, that one just came out. I bought it for Lily, and she's like, I don't get it. It's not as much fun as Power Wash Simulator.
But just so many simulation games.
You're literally gardening and putting garden gnomes in and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. And then I put this one on here, Unpacking.
That one's kind of fun. I played it a little bit.
I've seen people play it. Like, it's very calming. I put it under life because it is. You unpack a room.
Yeah, and you just set it up how you want it. And it's kind of, what is it, kind of 16-bit looking graphics? Yeah.
So, yeah, it's insanely popular. It blew up for a time on Steam.
Still going through this list of just simulator games. Ranch Sim.
Yeah, that's been on sale.
Yeah, I've been actually kind of looking at that one a little bit. We're going farming. We're going to build a ranch, going ranching.
We're going ranching.
It's also multiplayer.
That'd be a good one. We could be farmhands.
Yeah.
We could make our own.
Commune. No.
I was gonna
Cult.
say Brokeback. I was
No.
gonna say Brokeback Mountain, but yeah, that'd
Oh.
work too.
There's probably another simulator for that. If we
Brokeback Mountain Simulator.
hand
What
simulator.
happens when someone leaves? I quit you.
Oh God, hand simulator on VR.
Is that Evil Hand Simulator or
No, just
Hand Simulator?
regular hand simulator. We'll talk about that when we get to the other.
Okay.
So we got Thief. You said Garden. We got Unpacking. Leaf Blower Revolution. Talk about
Yeah,
that.
look that up. That's what the one Kinetics is playing right now. You're blowing leaves. It's like a top-down view.
Oh, just a little idle game.
Yeah.
Just moving the leaves around. Do.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's very like asteroids feeling.
100%. But I just thought it was hilarious. We're talking about this, and then there's Kinetics playing it.
So talk about the new Oregon Trail. You have that listed here, and I think that's like iOS only.
No, it's getting ready to release on Steam.
What?
Yeah, look, Oregon Trail.
The Oregon Trail. It sure is like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on my wish list.
I'm wish listing that thing.
Look at the graphics on it.
That's cool looking.
It is beautiful looking. And like
Hannah has dysentery.
Yeah, and it shows like their health and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm getting this.
Oh yeah.
It's high resolution graphics.
And I also read about this, like they hired 3 Native American historians to make things a little bit more accurate.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
They acknowledged some transgressions in their earlier versions because the game first came out like in 71.
It's like one of the early. I consider it a simulation game because you're trying to get to Oregon.
There's resource management, and it's like RPG-y, simulation-y. Yeah, like if you can make it not as the banker, you're doing good.
But yeah, so there you go. Comes out tomorrow. It's on my list, and it's Steam Deck compatible.
Oh, that's like a perfect Steam Deck game.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that. You're welcome, everyone. Mm-hmm. Sports simulators, not my jam.
Not really mine either. I know Football Manager, which is soccer for everybody that's not in America, is very popular. I know Madden kind of has that feature where you get to manage the team and you run and you're not really playing through the game. I've done it a little bit on Madden. I just didn't really grab me, like I thought it would. And kind of like these next ones that are coming up. Not many of these. Like I enjoy them, they don't have time to fit in my rotation. Yeah, like the racing and driving simulators. We was talking with Adam and Chof about this a little bit last night. So well, does Forza fit? And he's like, well, Gran Turismo may fit more. Like I don't know because I've never played either one. Like I know iRacing really does because it's competitive.
I played Gran Turismo on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, I think.
Yeah,
like all my buddies were into modding cars, and they loved it because you could soup up these cars and mod them with tires and NOS and everything.
That's fun.
They loved it. Yeah,
the customization side of it, and I think that's where like the NASCAR games really hit in. Yeah, they're competitive, they're sports games, but there's a lot of intricacies that go in, from like tire pressure to fuel management to like all these things that go in. And you do all these super like micromanage granular things to make your car perfect for that track, just to turn around and drive backwards against traffic and cause all the wrecks that you can.
So and there's Forza, NASCAR, Snow Runner, and iRacing.
Snow Runner is fun. Snow Runner's fun. I think there's like Mud Runner and Snow Runner, which is another one of those kind of chill games that you can't get in a hurry about, but you can play with other friends, and it's just one of those kind of like package delivery type games where you have to upgrade your vehicle, cross terrain. Snow Runner is a really good time. I really enjoyed playing it.
It's much better than Mudbutt the simulator.
Yep. I bet there's probably. Hold on, I'm getting ready to screw up my algorithm. You're
looking up Mudbutt?
No, I'm just seeing if there's a poop simulator.
Oh, there's a toilet simulator.
Poop on 2020. I'm going to click on it. Here it goes. Oh, it's just I think that's similar to the. It's got a lot of positive reviews. I'll give it that. It came out in 2020.
There's one called Toilet Simulator and Yeah, Toilet Simulator 2020 for 99 cents and Toilet Tycoon.
Really build up your toilet empire.
Like, they call me Mr. Tidy, Mr. Tidy Bowl. Okay,
So now
next.
there's the category, excuse me, that you threw together.
Yep, because this is a U category.
Yeah, I just found one that's in this category that, okay, hold on. I'm adding it on here. You played Call of the Wild with us.
Yes, and which is why in the song, I only know how to use buckshot because I don't know what bullets go with what.
Mhm.
I killed a buffalo with a buckshot. Many buckshots.
All the
Yeah.
buckshots.
All
It's
the
a
buckshot.
fun. It's a really fun game. It's not a full on simulator. There's still some very arcadey elements in it, but like all the stuff that you get to use, is pretty fun.
Or like Deer Hunter would be on that.
Yeah, Deer Hunter was super arcadey. And then you have like all these fishing simulators. There's like a sea fishing simulator, which is probably more along the simulation game, but Fishing Planet and like these are sort of arcadey, but you get to simulate going out on the boat and catching fish. There's one I played for a little bit. I don't remember the name of it, but I had a really good time with it. But when I added to this, as I was looking for fishing simulator games, there's one that's coming up called Magnet Fishing Simulator, and I will play this because I do go magnet fishing, and it's
You
actually
fish
kind
with
of
a
fun.
magnet?
Yeah, so you get a super like strong iridium magnet, like the super strong ones. You tie it to the end of a rope, usually about a 20 to 50-foot rope, and you go to like lakes and rivers and stuff where people usually congregate and are likely to drop things.
Oh yeah, I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun. But the magnet fishing simulator, I will probably play that because it's cool, just the random stuff that you can find doing it. I do it around here occasionally. So let's get into our weird gray area other stuff. Surgeon Simulator falls in there.
Yep.
It's not a
Deer
true
Simulator.
simulation. Deer Simulator is fun.
Yes, Deer Simulator is a lot of fun because it's just weird.
It's weird. It's along the lines of Goat Simulator, which is next on the list.
Hitch Goat Simulator is a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And what comes out this week?
Goat Simulator 3.
Oh, wait. We just said Goat Simulator. Why is there a 3?
I don't know. You have to talk to the devs. They totally skipped over 2, which is a classic move.
Which is great. Because it's literally, so 3 is multiplayer too. I think this would be a great Freaky Friday game.
Yeah. I know the original one is like local co-op. And so if they have, if this is like up to 4 people online, then that's going to be fun. There's a lot of fishing simulator games. But yeah, those fall in that really gray area because they have simulator in the title, but they're not really a simulator. It's not what it's like to really live as a goat or a deer. But
because you can't get the super long tongue and drag people along.
Or you can't become, super buff deer, dual wielding Uzis running from the cops that also happen to be sheep. And but it's just dumb fun. You said you had Animal Crossing earlier,
which we talked about. Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of like the last one to this list that, and we talked about it way early on, is do these games fit into the simulator genre? And that's the survival games like your DayZ, The Forest, Scum. And I think some do to a certain extent. I think like in my mind, these 3 games, we'll just talk about these 3, DayZ, Forest, and the Scum. In order of most simulation to least simulation, I think Scum would probably be the most, DayZ, and then the Forest, because the level of micromanaging you have to do for your health and making sure that you're properly sheltered and all these things to simulating being in a post-apocalyptic survival type situation.
Wasn't Green Hell similar to the Forest?
Green Hell, yeah. I would put Green Hell like around the DayZ area. It had a lot. It was one of those, once you figured out how to survive, then it was just making it from that point. Let's see if there's a survival simulator.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Survival Simulator VR. Yeah. So, and then also look at Hand Simulator. Those are more like proof
I
of
think we're losing
concept.
Kyle.
I got a little yawn there. Proof of concept like VR games where you can do cool stuff in the VR and play with different guns and gadgets and toys and things. So, Nudist Beach Survival Simulator. What? Oh, there's a sequel.
Because the first one did so well.
Apparently. And then, Nerd, he wanted me to bring up RimWorld, which I haven't played. But
Okay, that keeps like, did they just come out with a new one or something? Because that keeps showing up in my.
I don't know. I've heard really good
Steam.
things about it. I've never. Oh, there's just a lot of DLC for it. And
RimWorld.
Yeah.
What is RimWorld?
It kind of looks like it's in the same style as like some of the prison games that we've played, but it's you colonize and
you generate stories.
Yeah, and you can like make things happen, like this villager is having an affair with this villager's wife and like stuff like that. So there's all these interpersonal things that happen. Like
so
you manage
if this would be considered on this, would Cult of the Lamb be considered
I've never
somewhat
played
of a
Cult of the
simulator?
Lamb. Let me look it up.
That's really big right now. Like Prom's been playing it, or Rubik's has been playing it.
From what I see about RimWorld, I think that really fits that God part of it. You know?
Because Cult of the Lamb's kind of like that. Kinetics was playing it, and he made all of us characters. My guy was really old and died. I think Chof ended up being his wife or something. I can't remember.
So Cult of the Lamb is just like a lamb or a cult simulator thing. Maybe I'd have to play it to find out. That's like one of the first comments on there. Named a couple followers after some friends. One died. Another one doesn't like to do anything. The last one rebelled and started trying to sabotage my sex. So I had to go and sacrifice him. 11 out of 10. Pretty accurate thus far. Let me look into that one.
And I guess Stray would kind of be on there too.
Cat Simulator.
Yep. The one where you just go knocking shit down.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what did you all think? Did you enjoy this? Did you not enjoy this? We're working on one for next week. And I think Chof's joining us for that one, isn't he?
Yeah, if we can get that one out next week or in the near future, we're going to talk about maybe some possible video game mashups. So things that you would like to see put together. You'll need to be in the Discord to be able to participate in that, because that's where we're going to take all the suggestions. So make sure you join the Discord. We'll put some examples out there to show kind of what we're imagining that we're going to try to talk about. Of course, whatever you guys throw out there, will kind of go with. But yeah, just like cool video game mashups that will never happen that you would like to see. So like, what would it be like if, what a cool mashup would be like, Mario characters in Mortal Kombat or something like that. And so we're
not going to tell you any of the jokes that we did.
Oh yeah. We got to save those.
Were cracking up. Yep.
So yeah, the crack ups, the mashups and crossovers that you guys would like to see.
So yeah, just let us know. And I will leave you guys with this too. Lillian and I went with Dr. Justin,
Doctor,
and his wife, Doctor, to go see Wakanda Forever last night, Black Panther. It was phenomenal. It was a great closeout to Phase 4. But it was phenomenal. Loved it, and there is a mid-credit scene. So make sure you stay for that. That's what I didn't get. And I was calling people dumbasses because half our theater, more than half, 3/4 of the theater emptied as soon as the credits started rolling.
Where have you been for the last 12 years?
That's what I said. I'm like, have you never seen a Marvel movie? But yeah. So let us know what you think. With that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. Wherever you guys are, please have a great morning, evening, nighttime, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and please be good to each other.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
See ya.
Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made-up word. MCs shied away from